Welcome back to My Car's Shop. Today, we're going to be talking about exactly how much money I've spent on the 70 Challenger project to date. And we're going to be doing a cost comparison on what it would cost if we bought new. Let's watch the show intro, and I'll see you in 30 seconds. I'm Mike, and this is My Car's Shop.
Working out of a 100-year-old refurbished barn, bringing 35 years of experience to projects considered beyond repair. Vision, creativity, and problem solving are essential tools in this place. Watch as we transform junk into polished metal miracles. This is My Car's Shop.
One of the things that I really do enjoy about fabricating is the fact that it saves a ton of money when you're restoring cars. And I've alluded to the fact before that because I do everything the way that I do is the reason I'm able to have the number of cars that I do, because what I have invested in the fleet of vehicles that are here is about what a lot of people have just in one car. And so for me, it's a love of fabricating, but it's also dollars and cents. I'm a business person and I'm always thinking about return on investment. First of all, most of the cars here are not high dollar cars, and I want to qualify that and say, to me, a high dollar car is something that's in the six figures and up. So anything below six figures to me is not a high dollar car. $40,000, $50,000 cars are pretty commonplace. And to put that in perspective, think about the cost of a brand new vehicle today. 25,000, 30, 40,000, 50,000. Pickups are running 70 or 80,000. So, these are not big dollar cars in the scope of the cost of cars these days. So I wanted to do a breakout on how much money I've invested and spent, I should say, on the 70 Challenger project to date and do that cost comparison. So let's lay this out. I did a little spreadsheet last night, but I want to just go through this real quick. So I'm going to do actual money spent versus traditional. Okay, so what I mean by traditional is basically buying the replacement parts to put on the car. So some of these costs are the same no matter what. So for example, what I paid for the car. So I'm just going to put the description in here, the actual and the cost. I paid $300 for that 70 Challenger. So no matter which way you're going with this car, that cost remains the same. Basically got it for scrap value. That's what I paid for the car from the person I bought it from. That's what he paid it for from the scrapyard he got it from. So as cars go, I've seen these cars in this condition for a couple grand. I know I got a good deal on it, but again, it's a car that most people wouldn't touch. I picked up a set of taillights for the car. Driver quality taillights rather than new. So we're going to compare that to new. And some of these prices may be off, but again, I'm going to fix these up a little bit, use them. Not a fabricating project, but it's money is spent on the car. Traditionally, those taillights run $900 and up. I picked these up, driver quality, for $350. The next thing was the metal. So this is the raw sheet metal that I picked up to do the project. I spent $180 on two 4x8 sheets of metal. What would I have spent over here? Nothing, because I wouldn't have bought the metal to do the fabricating, obviously. I did buy a new gas tank. I would have purchased the same tank no matter what. I got this one from Jegs. It was relatively inexpensive. It was $80. So that cost goes on both sides. Tank straps, I also bought those from Jegs. They were 25 bucks. Again, same cost on both sides. So I'm not looking at things that I need to get for the car. I'm looking at what I actually purchased for the car. Okay, so I bought a Sherman quarter panel rather than an AMD. A lot of guys don't like Sherman paddles because they don't fit as well, they're harder to put on, etc., rather than like an AMD or something like that. I'm perfectly happy with Sherman panels because I am a metal worker and I can take those panels and make them look really nice on the car. I'm very happy with them and they save a ton of money. I paid $165 for the driver's side quarter panel. I have not purchased the passenger side, so we're not putting that on the list yet. An AMD panel, and some of these prices do include shipping. It looks to me like they're about 520 bucks shipped. So we saved a significant amount of money there. Also, I had the studs for the taillights. The studs were missing in the taillights. I did not buy the stud kit that is available for that. I went out, purchased bolts the right size, cut them off, made my own studs. I had $12.50. In the traditional fashion, a person probably would have ordered a stud kit, and those run about $57. I purchased a used steering column for the car down in Texas. Was $100 for the steering column. I probably would have made that same purchase. It needs to be reconditioned, but I'll put that cost over here. The same, I probably would have purchased that column for that price, so there's no cost differential there. Now, this is where it starts to get different because this is everything I've spent on this car up till now. I have other things around the shop I might use on that car, but it wasn't money spent on this car, so therefore I'm not including them at this point. Once they become part of the project, I will add them here. But I'm looking at from time of purchase to now today, this is what I have spent aside from shop materials and things like that. So there's two other items over here that offset this one because I made frame rails, floor pan, gas tank, trunk floor support, etc. out of this $180 worth of metal. Now I didn't break this down into pieces parts, but I went with the entire piece you could buy. That's the rear frame rail section and the floor pan and the trunk floor all in one. That takes you basically from the heels of the rear seat passenger all the way back to the rear bumper. That unit with shipping is about $1,700. So that would be, what am I calling that? The rear frame and floor. So I'll just call that rear frame. Over here, we had zero. I didn't do that. That would be frame and not fam. Okay. The other thing that I've done was the roof was caved in. If you go way back to those first really crude episodes where I was knocking the roof back out because it was caved in from sitting in a pile, it probably had another car on top of it from the scratches and gouges and the way the metal is wrinkled. I decided to go ahead and dolly that roof out. I'm about 80% done with it right now. So I have zero cost over here, probably 20 hours of time into it so far, maybe another 15-20 hours to spend to finish it. We'll get into time in a minute. So, but you can buy that roof piece shipped here. I looked at the shipping, it was about $900. So yeah, you can buy that. So what do we have here on this side? If I had done this the traditional way of purchasing the parts and installing them in the car, our bottom line here would be $4,582. Hopefully my math was right. That's what I would have spent to get the car, not to the point that it is yet because I haven't done the floor pans, but I have the material to do it, so this is a pretty fair comparison. On this side, what have I actually spent on this car, including the purchase price, remember? $1,212.50. So we have a cost savings by doing the fabricating of about, $3,369.50. Now again, this is just for comparison's sake. I'm only this far into this project. We did an episode a while ago you can find on the channel called $75,000 to Restore the Challenger. You can quickly see how doing things non-traditionally, doing a lot of the work yourself, fabricating parts, fabricating floor pans, learning how to metal work to take out dents and things like that makes a huge difference in cost because I've saved about $3,500 so far in this project. Multiply that times the number of cars we have here, and you can see that that adds up into a very significant cost. So you see why I like doing it. Now, time. I know a lot of people say, Yeah, but your time. How many hours do you have into this project? I don't know how many hours I have into it, and I don't really care. But if I had to guess, I was talking with my dad about this last night. If I was to come out here and this was my full-time job, and I was to work on this Challenger as it came in when I brought it in to do these frames, I would guess it probably would take me 2 to 3 weeks to do what I did on that car, working as though it was my full-time job, 40 hours a week. So 120 hours of my time. Now, at shop rate, of course, 120 hours does not equate to this $3,300 in savings when your shop charges $95 or $150 an hour. But that's not the point of this project. I'm looking at this, my time is enjoyment. That is an investment in myself. It's the escape from the world. And there's another factor here that you can't put money on that I don't get when I do it this way. Now understand, I'm not against this. I've done this for customers. If this was a customer car, this would be the way I would go because my costs are fixed. I know how much time it takes to do each step of this process. But for myself, the one thing that this amount of money here and a lot more, this 120 hours or more, is a great cost offset to me. Where are we going to write this down? It's important. What do you think it is? What's the word? Begins with an E. Enjoyment. I enjoy the crap out of doing this. Now, I'm not saying every piece of it's fun, but there is a great sense of satisfaction that I get in looking under that car and knowing the frame rail I'm looking at right here on this driver's side is one that I made myself. I don't get that satisfaction out of buying a part and putting it in. It's different. I'm not against this at all. So please don't think I'm dissing anybody that chooses to do this. I know for a lot of people, money comes easier than time. This is what I love to do. And this to me is the ROI right here. This is the return on the investment I get of putting my time into these projects and fabricating these projects the way that I do. I think the bottom line here around my car shop is if you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. That's what it's about. So if you enjoy this, great. And not that I don't enjoy this. It's just I enjoy this a lot more. And I love looking at that Challenger that almost has perfectly good frame rails in the back now and knowing with everything I've done to that car, I've only got $1,200 in it. Could I sell that car with what's been done to it once it's back on its wheels for more than $1,200? Oh yeah, definitely could. Definitely could. So, do what's fun for you and don't let anybody else tell you it's wrong. I know so many of you guys are encouraged to be doing your own fabricating and doing your own work like this, and you're diving in and doing it, and I think that's awesome. I love hearing from you. I love seeing those pictures. So go over to Facebook /MyCarsShop, look for the pin post at the top of the page called Show Us Your Junk, and drop more pictures over there of the stuff you're doing. Let's hear those stories, and I'd love to hear how this channel has inspired you or encouraged you to get out there and get after it and do things in a way that you enjoy. Second thing, we are on Instagram /MyCarShop. Join us over there as well. We're constantly posting stuff, funny things, other things that don't necessarily make it to the YouTube channel here. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel here, I really would like it if you would do that. That would be awesome, not only for me, but for all of the other members that we have here. The more we build this community, the more we're going to be able to do here on the channel. And that's exciting to me because there's a whole lot more coming yet that I want to give you guys that's just going to take some time for us to get there. So thanks for being here. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications so you know when the new episodes come out. We generally put our episodes out on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. We're going to try to hold that through the summer, even though right now things are really busy and crazy. But we're doing this for you, and we want to give you a huge resource library of stuff that you can refer to when you're working on your projects. So thanks for being here, guys. Spread the word. If you can share our channel, other places that you're in forums, if you're in fabrication forums, other Mopar channels, Oakland, Pontiac channels, Ford channels, any place that you think people might appreciate the kind of detailed work that we do here, go ahead and share it. Thanks for being here, and as always, don't forget, rock!